Hello, fitness fans. It's your bro Quan here, and today we're going to be talking about Mad Max and how to be hope in a chaotic world. I'm your host Quan as usual. Hope everybody's doing well today. And let's see here. Hope everybody's doing pretty well. Um, as usual, sorry about my lateness. It's been at least I tried this week, but I know I'm being hard on myself. I know that pretty much I have a habit of stringing these through at least first it was Tuesday, then it's Wednesday, and now it is Thursday. So I hate to kind of be that guy that was just like, it'll come out eventually. But when I'm doing podcasts, it'll at least be between those 3 days. So please stay tuned if you're interested in my podcast. I greatly appreciate you listening. And I'm sorry for the tardiness, but it'll be between those 3 days. I hope this will be all right. If not, if you have any specific requests, please let me know. Same with certain topics or certain movies to examine, certain characters to examine. Please let me know, and I will see what I can do for you. But other than that, as usual, thank you for listening. And we're going into another episode of Fictional Character Motivation, examining Mad Max and becoming the hope in chaos. Um, so, with we'll start off pretty much with the original before we go to the ones that most of you might already know, depending upon how old you are listening to this podcast. Mad Max started in 1979. The first movie came out, and it hit on a not too distant future where oil has been depleted, along with the commonalities of war, famine, and financial chaos. Sounds familiar? The last few standing cops in Australia, one of them being Max, tries to keep the peace until a biker gang hunts and kills his wife and child. He then becomes a little mad and goes on a vendetta to take out the gang. And the aftermath of him taking out the gang is him only having two main instincts: the one of survival and the one of retribution. This movie started a great franchise um, that also has very good sequels, three great sequels actually. And most of the movies pretty much are on the subject of the post-apocalypse. What happens after, of course, all that happens? What happens after, of course, the bombs have dropped and war has ravaged the land, um, which turns out to be pretty much society in groups, uh, big to small communities, violence and brutality being the new norm, which we've always been dancing on the edges of. And even through all that, still trying to do good in a lawless world. Um, so, uh, one of the sequels that you may be remembering, and that's pretty much been a very awaited sequel or awaited movie remake in a way, but a sequel to it was quite awesome. Was Mad Max Fury Road, which was a very epic action sequel that came out in 2015. But there's a lot of chaos in these movies, from warring packs or even in some cases communities, new societies, uh, to um, a ravaged land, from bomb drops to not much good nutrients, which causes a interestingly crazy uh, weather climate. Um, Pretty much, if everyone remembers the 2015 Mad Max Fury Road, a unnaturally huge desert storm that was pretty much a combination of desert storms and dust tornadoes that were big enough to swipe up cars and throw them. That's unnatural. With in pretty much in those kind of climates and those kind of worlds, it seems that there is one uh, big calamity after another, and yet there's still hope. There's still justice, compassion, and even looking forward to a better tomorrow. Even I think in these times, since during also these times we're going through a interestingly aggressive transition, um, which we've always have been, but now it's just been highlighted with um, some riots here and there, the coronavirus, some people who are being unjust to a lot of other people. I think in these times and the times of Mad Max, it is good to try to be a symbol of hope, a person of hope. Um, to be, hope in a world that is going through aggressive changes, injustice, financial chaos, I think is more important than any kind of resource. Being the light in darkness is just as important as anything in the world I value, like being the positivity, you know, and because of that hope, because of maybe one good act or one good event that can change, that can spread to people, that could comfort people, that could even inspire other people to go out and do good. You know, some people think that, all this negative stuff is going to be nothing more than negative stuff, but people forget that hope is just as contagious as hopelessness. Positive is just as contagious as negative. The only thing is with negative is most of the time negative is usually in your face. Most of the time, from what I've noticed, negativity is just right there in your face. It is barking at you in some cases. Hope is usually silent. Or in some cases, hope is usually just around the corner. You just have to keep looking and keep hoping. But those kind of things can spread good change. It can even inspire people to do more good. So, so how to be um, like hope, or to be the light in darkness in chaotic times from Mad Max? Well, I have a small little list, a little bit detailed, but we'll start off. One thing, and language is about to come. One thing that I pretty much advise is don't be an asshole, really. I mean, don't be. We already got a surplus of assholes already. And pretty much on that, what is an interesting definition of asshole? I'll try to short it out. Don't piss people off just to piss people off. I mean, if there is some truth, then by all means spread truth. But there are better ways to say that truth. You know better than that. Don't be non-understanding. Don't just look at an issue and be like, oh, they're just doing it because they're doing it, or worse, I don't really care. That kind of thing. One of the things that I had to come to understanding and to kind of put my 2 cents in is, of course, some of the rioting and looting. Granted, some of the riots are caused by people who want to start stuff, aka people who are trying to piss other people off, people who are doing wrong, people who are doing injustice, and those people are pretty much classified as assholes in my book. But there are also people underneath. They're doing it because of, one, they're angry, they're in their emotion, and two, they don't they don't know what else to do. So um, I like to sum this up with people who riot, especially the ones who don't have nothing else to do. Is you ever been so pissed off that you want to punch a hole through a wall? That's basically what a riot is. And with them, they're doing it because of certain things that have happened, and people want to go like, oh, there's other people. Is mostly this kind of people that riot. Like, no, everybody has rioted before. Trust me. Some people riot over injustice. Some people ride because they don't know what else to do. Other people ride over, a player who went to a certain other team. Anyway, on top of that, um, the other way of being that you might be an asshole is that you're not considerate, you're not being respectful. Now, hold being respectful at an all-time high. I believe you must all be respectful towards each other. Unless someone's being disrespectful, then you be disrespectful to them. But as usual, being a bigger man, you have to also give them space and not be as disrespectful as them. But to be not considerate, people want to go like, well, Quan, I don't want to step on eggshells over people. No, you don't. I don't think you should. But I'm not saying there are other ways you can be considerate without, feeling they have to put a bubble wrap suit over everybody. There are ways that you can say something and it comes out clearly instead of possibly trying to start an emotion. And there's a difference. There's a clear difference. I've done this before just as much as I've experienced this before. There are better ways. So rule number one, in trying to be a person that is the light of the darkness, someone that's trying to be, hope in chaotic times, don't be an asshole. Rule two, be positive in any way you can. Foster a little bit of optimism, hope. See the good in things, even if it's the most mundane. One thing that I've been doing that I think would help out a lot is being grateful for for pretty much what you have. A lot of people are not, the reason why they're hurt or the reason why they want to lash out to some people is because they feel that, life is horrible. When in reality, if they just take a look at what all they have and be grateful for that, it builds up. That's even a spiritual principle, actually. If you be grateful for what you have, more good stuff will come to you. You know, that's almost in every spiritual text, law of attraction. Look it up. Be grateful for what you have. More good stuff will come to you. Um, Being positive in other ways, be compassionate. You know, be understanding. If anything, we need more of those two things in this world than ever. You know, be more compassionate, be understanding, understand where somebody's coming from, and pretty much then put your 2 cents in. See what can change. Another thing that I'd also be a part of is be calm but aware. Because if you're calm, you can breathe nice and easy a little bit. You can be a little bit focused. But the main thing about being calm is being able to think things through, but also be aware, like whether it is being aware of what you are saying and how it might come across, to being aware of your surroundings. I mean, even before some of this tension has happened, I mean, there was still crazy stuff, some unlawful stuff, some bad stuff happening, and a lot of those things could have possibly been prevented if you would just look around every once in a while, examine where you're at, observe what people may be doing, observe what people may be saying, even if you have to do the whole peripheral thing to where I wave this finger over here and still know that it's over there and know what, yeah, to pretty much realize where you see that finger. It's being aware, even if you have to use peripheral vision. Knowing where you are, being calm and being aware, I think will help out a lot. And the last part of being being hope in a chaotic world, being the light in the tunnel, is do the right thing. Um, hold the door for somebody sometimes. Give a compliment, say something nice. You don't say a bunch of things nice to some people. If you see evil or bad, stop it, do something about it, report it, be aware of it, let people know about it. I mean, one of the things that unnerved me the most is the fact that some people will look at evil and or look at something that's wrong, instead of pointing it out, instead of letting it be known that, hey, that's wrong, they just look at it. Nowadays people might just Snapchat it, you know and that just kind of is disturbing to me. Some people even let it slide, and you shouldn't let it slide. You shouldn't. You should look at the bad that has happened, and either let that person, that organization know that, hey, this is a bad thing. We should stop this. There are better ways to do this, and let them know. That goes for organizations. That goes for people. I mean, you see somebody doing wrong, you know, pull them to the side if you need to. Or better yet, if you don't have the courage, the boldness to pull them to the side, report it, or better yet, go to that wrong person and offer, your condolences, offer your help, offer your sympathy. I mean, there are loads of ways of doing the right thing, of doing good, of being positive. I mean, there are millions of ways, millions of ways. But that'll be it. I hope this will help out with whatever whatever you're going through. I hope my speaking with everything that I'm doing is the light for you, sheds a little bit of hope for you, and hope to hear from you soon. Hope this helps. Deuces.